Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Rob Smith for Combat Sports UK, and I'm delighted to be joined by PFL fighter Dean Garnett, coming off a Fight of the Year contender. Dean, how are we, mate?
I'm not too bad, I'm healing up pretty nicely.
And before we even jump into the, I just want to say, as a fan, thank you for that fight, mate. It was. I don't think you're going to get a much better fight than that this year. I don't see anything coming close to it. As far as especially UK MMA goes, it's the best I've seen. So I just want to say, as a fan, thank you for that, mate. You and Lewis McGrillen, hats off to the both of you.
That's right.
And so we'll talk about that fight because there was a lot to unpack, and I want to talk from your perspective of things because obviously you went into the fight originally scheduled to face Kershay Kakarov, who I know you said is a world class fighter, and then obviously he had to pull out for what, and then the fight gets rescheduled again with Federico, and then he has to pull out. Does any of that affect you, like with your preparations? Does it affect your mindset going into the fight?
Not really. No, I'd say it didn't. I'd say like just obviously having a good opponent to start with, like Kershed was a great motivator, and I'm the type of guy who's pretty switched on anyway and you know, doesn't need that external. There's a lot internally, intrinsically coming from me in terms of desire and wanting to do well. So it doesn't change none. And I think because it's a tournament format as well, you need to think more about yourself. I think so. Yeah, wouldn't say it was too much of an issue for me, to be honest.
And I know the result of the fight didn't go the way that you wanted to, but do you take pride in the fight because of how well it was received, how much the fans loved it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm only human. It's hard not to appreciate loads of like support and positive comments and people, being happy about your work, because that's essentially what this is at the end of the day. This is me profession, and those fights are the product that you put out there. So for me, it's bittersweet. Obviously, a terrible feeling to be the loser. I'm out the tournament now. The 100 grand's no longer up for grabs for me, but it is a nice consolation because I'd say I haven't had a situation like this before, to be honest, where people have raved about my fights or performances. So no, it is nice, but the victory would have been. I'd actually be sitting here now talking about a boring fight and me being the victor. So
And so when you get the call from PFL and they've said, oh, Federico's pulled out and they're trying to work on an opponent, and then you get a call saying, oh, Lewis McGrillen's going to step in. Is it a
yeah,
kind of a bittersweet moment for you? Because I know you've coached Lewis in the past. So what was your initial reaction when you found out it
uh,
was going to be Lewis?
yeah, it's not almost that I've coached them. It's more just like obviously we're on the same circuit, and I've watched them grow, and we've done bits together as teams, Manny Top Team and Aspire. We've sparred loads together, so there's always been a bit of like helping each other out where we could, back in the day, especially. So there's just that element to it. So in terms of like, it's nicer going into fighting a stranger because obviously there's no sentiment towards the person, but then equally, Lewis brought a lot of hype into the fight, and that was much better for me and for everyone involved. So no, it was a win-win really. I think in the end to go from Federico to Lewis just because of the hype on the fight. No one was really interested in the bout until we had that switch up of opponent, to be honest. So yeah, I think in the end it was a nice move.
And Lewis said in an interview recently with I believe it was Jamal Nayaz, he was saying that there was a point in the fight where you dropped him, you got him in the guillotine, and do you believe that you were very close to finishing him at that point? Because he said in that
I
interview that
reckon
he
I
was
must
starting
have
to see
been.
black.
Like normally, if I lock my guard up on a guillotine, it's done. At any level. Um, so I'm very surprised he came through that. Honestly, I am. That was how I actually visioned the fight being won. To be honest, I imagined I was going to hit him and drop him, and then as he was coming up, I'd catch the choke and finish it. But fair play to him, mate. I don't know how he did it, but he come through it anyway.
Was there anything about the fight that surprised you? Was there anything about Lewis's performance that really took aback by yourself?
No, like, look, it was a tactical nightmare for me. If I was in the corner and all my coaches were like, "What the fuck is he doing?" Like, in reality, I basically fought to Lewis's strengths in the fight. Do you know what I mean? He's a younger guy, very powerful, fast switch. And he was beating me to that big shot. So yeah, I think tactically would have been great if I went out and wrestled him. and seeing how that went down. I think the advantage was definitely leaning towards me on the ground as it showed anytime we did grapple. Um, so yeah, there's that. I think tactically I just didn't fight a great fight, but you know what? I got hit early with a big shot, and then as I was getting up or in the scramble, I think I took a thumb to the eye, like accidentally, and just that, the eye and being rocked together was
Mhm.
just such a challenge to try and like refocus and recompose myself and find my bearings on my feet. And I just think, even though I was dropped a good few times after that, I don't think I actually fully recovered from the first one.
Yeah.
Um, so it was a crazy experience being in there, to be honest. Like, normally I'm very dialed in. I know exactly where I am in the fight. Am I winning? Am I losing? What do we need to do? I can talk to my corner. I can remember all the stuff with my corner. I can't even remember the conversations with the corner team in between rounds. So that just shows I was definitely a bit discombobulated, to say the least. And I think I did just end up biting down on my gummy and, you know, having a bit of a bash, having a tear up. Oh yeah.
So, what's the game plan to come in and wrestling? Use your grappling to kind of get the finish.
Yeah, definitely. I was planning to use my all round game in this fight. I felt like it would have unlocked me striking more, would have made Lewis be more mindful about letting his hands go. So, I just think it makes Lewis's life a lot harder if I'm mixing it all up. And I never did that, which is a shame. But
Have
it
you
is
have you
what it
s-
is, and fair play to Lewis.
have you spoken to Lewis since the fight, like backstage, or have you had like chats since the fight? Like,
Only that briefly. Only that briefly. No,
is
if I see him, I'll bump into him and we'll have a chat properly.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, good luck to the lad. Like I say, he's a good kid and he deserves what's coming. You
And
know,
how do you think that final goes between him and Luster?
I fancy Lewis, to be honest.
Hmm.
Yeah, fancy Lewis. But Luster's not a easy fight for anyone. So still a tough fight. Luster's long. He's got some good grappling as well. So it's a good matchup. Two young fighters, but I think Lewis got the edge.
And how have you been healing up since the fight?
Do you know what, mate? Really well. I went and got my eyes scanned. My eyes all fine. It's gone back to normal vision today. For a few days it was blurred. And I've got a sore ear where I took a shot on me cauliflower. But honestly, mate, other than that, I haven't got a mark on me. Back on the mat yesterday, and
Mm.
if PFL will give me a spot as the alternate, then I'll make weight and I'll be in Leon hoping someone falls over and stuffs the
Wait,
toe.
wait,
You never know, mate.
you kind of just answered my question. I was going to ask, do you fancy being the alternate in that fight? So I think if you're, I think I'm sure the PFL, I think it makes sense to have an alternate, and I think there's no one more deserving after the show that you guys put on. And if you're feeling good to go, there's no one more deserving than I think for you to be in that position. So is that definitely what you want?
Yeah, I mean that'd be a nice bonus on the back of the fight. Obviously, the fight's got loads of hype and stuff, and it's had a really good reaction anyway. And just think, if you're PFL, that might be a card you can pull that fight out the bag again. If they say McGrillen and Garnett 2's happening, I'm sure people will tune in for that. So they've got that up the sleeve as well. So yeah, it'd be appreciated if they use me as the alternate, if they are going to have one, which I'm sure they are. So I'd love that to be me. And if not, even just a showcase bout on the card with a view to slotting in there if something falls through in the finals. I don't know if that can be done, but it'd be a nice bonus anyway. Um, yeah.
And is there any particular names? Say, for example, you did have a fight, but then you were also used as an alternate. Is there any particular names that you'd want to fight?
I don't know, maybe the other semi-finalist guy who's a French guy. I don't know, just anyone. Whoever. I feel like I just want to fight, mate. At the minute, I'm 36, not getting no younger. I just want to get in there and get as many scraps in as I can these next 2-3 years. So I'm really hoping I can get busy with PFL. This is obviously the tournament format's got its pros and its cons, hasn't it? You know what I mean? If you're winning, you're gonna be guaranteed regular fights and big pay, and if you don't win, it's kind of like you're open. Stuff's gonna drop off for you. So hopefully something can come up. I'll definitely be giving Dan Hardy a nudge where I can and reminding him that I'm here and I'm willing to fight anyone really. So anyone they want to stick me against on that card's good for me. If they could get me on there, or like I say, if they want me to turn up and make weight and step in on an hour's notice, I'd be happy to do that as well.
The fight's gone viral on my Twitter, Instagram, all over. I've been seeing the PF. I've been seeing just replays of just you two just slugging it, dropping each other. I've seen it all over. I can't get away from it, but I don't. And every time I look at it, I can't look away. It's that good. And so, how did you kind of how have you kind of had that whole experience of having the fight go viral? Have you had like a lot of people messaging you? Has it been a lot more of a different experience post
Yeah, no,
fight?
but like I said before, mate, no one's really ever got that excited about my fights or the aftermath of them. So it's definitely been nice. Just even just being in the supermarket, people saying, "Oh, that was a cracking fight the other day, mate," or it's definitely something people are talking about everywhere I go. So yeah, no, look, it's a nice experience. It was a crazy fight. Something you haven't mentioned was that the illegal knee and how that could have like changed the scope of the fight as well, mate. There was
Yeah.
a obviously my eye was like gone, and obviously I'm human. There's a fighter in there, but there's also a guy who's got to provide for his family. And there's a point where I was going, if I can't continue now, does that put me through? Like that went through my head for a moment, and then I just went, no, don't get down like that. And I remember just having a word with myself and just looking at Lewis, thinking, no, let's fight. Um, so no, that's truly what I want. I want to fight, mate. So yeah, I want to get in on that. I want to fight like that, but where I come out the victor and maybe where I'm a little bit more tactically aware. Um, I honestly like people will probably be, oh, he's knocked years off his life there, but if you watch, I think that was the 19th pro fight I've had, mate. I've never been in a war like that. I've probably been hit 5 times in my career in 19 pro fights. So like with good shots, I think Magomedov's the only guy to hit me before Lewis. So and I don't spar like an idiot either. So it's not like I've got all these crazy miles on me clock and I'm doing this to my body in the gym. This guy's doing that in the gym. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I've
Mhm.
still got longevity, and I feel like there's a few more fights like that in me. If the PFL make them, I will turn up. So yeah.
My final question was, what was your post fight celebration meal? What was like your cheat meal?
Do you know what, mate? I felt quite sick after the fight, so didn't really enjoy a cheat meal. We ordered a pizza and I couldn't even eat any of it. So yeah, I wouldn't say that was a thing. But something I just eat loads of is peanut butter, mate. I had a tub, a lot. So yeah, I'm
Just
peanut
with a
butter mad
spoon.
at the fight with a spoon, mate. Just yeah, I've been having that on everything basically.
Well, Dean, I want to thank you so much for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. I know you're a busy man.
No problem.
I'm sure you're getting hounded for interviews. So, like I said, thank you for taking the time, mate. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it, mate.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day, mate.
See you later.